KP Heathen, my friend. Welcome. 8 Grace, how are you doing? Joseph Moore.
Are you fixing it online?
You want to say hello to everybody? Joseph Moore, how you doing? Hello, Abdul. Oh, dear God. Hmm. 2 in the house and 4 likes. Enrique Trevino, how's it going? If you haven't been here in a while, it takes a little while to get a good size group up into the live chat. It'll be a few minutes. They trickle through. Right now we're at 6 in the house. 5 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. The Bud Files. Hello, Bud Files. Uncle Al. By Bullfrog 79. Utah Mike, how's it going? And the Turkins? Oh, their condo's being built, or it was being built over the weekend. It'll be done this next, we got them in temporary housing. It'll be done this next weekend. Melinda Elliott, how you doing? Please leave a like to support the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. 9 in the house, 9 likes. Oh, Lord. Well, I had to remove one. I think I developed a stalker. There was a word I looked up, and it was a Hindu word, and it was for honey. I don't like being called honey by a man. Not my idea. So I had to do a removal. God almighty. I'm sorry, I don't roll that way. No. I have never rolled that way. Ah, God almighty. Sorry about that. I had to laugh. 8 in the house. Whew. 9 likes. I tell you, it's been a long day. Monday. Stressful day at work. Stressful day. I've got stuff going on a bot, I don't know, having a man by the name of Abdul call me honey and wanting me to visit. I don't know if that was a bot. Is that one of those DEI woke bots? I don't know. I don't go there. But it certainly got me laughing. Certainly got me laughing. Sorry. I have to laugh about certain things. Certain things I just have to laugh about. So then I'm asked, well, what are we talking about? What's the topic? There's so much to talk about. We live in stressful times. People are stressed about paying the bills. Now, do you have, I'll be back, dinner is ready. Hey, take care of yourself. Enjoy. Oh, dear God. All right, I just got rid of Abdul. God. Anyway, so we do live in stressful times. I mean, stuff like this stresses me out. But seriously, think about it. Do you have the money to pay your bills for a couple of months if you didn't have any money coming in? Let's say something happens, there's a disruption, you no longer have a job for a couple of months. It takes you a couple of months to get a new job. Do you have the money to pay the bills? You should have some reserves. You should build up a reserve fund. If you pay rent, you have utilities, you have a mortgage, you have a car payment. Can you meet those payments? Can you operate for a period of 2-3 months without any money coming in? The majority of the people live from paycheck to paycheck. And yeah, there are a bunch of rich people in the United States. There are millions of rich people in the United States, but they're not the majority. And there are so many people that are just suffering. They're just suffering. What preparedness items are regularly in your vehicle? Well, what preparedness items should you have in your vehicle? You should have for one, you better have a good spare tire and it better be inflated. You better have the means to change that tire. You better have a good jack. You better have the proper tools. One thing that a lot of people don't think about, put a little block of wood, 2x4, 1x4, little piece of plywood, something that you can put your jack on. So if you do have to jack it up and you're on soft pavement or you're off the side of the road a little bit, you want that jack to be able to raise your car up so that you can take that tire off. I learned that one, a car machete. And Uncle Al. Uncle Al is obsessed with machetes. He's been doing a lot of videos and shorts and such with machetes. And I'm not speaking ill of them. The only comment I will make is, do not take a knife, broadsword, katana, machete, whatever you want to call it, to a gunfight. Bad idea. Um, so having a spare quart of oil, having um, a jug with some water in it, having a gallon can of gasoline if something happens in case you, for whatever reason, your gauge isn't working right and you run out of gas, having a gallon of gas, um, having a tire gauge, and I'm just talking about stuff for your car right now. So, as far as what do you need to have, as far as other items, having a get home bag, having, yeah, something, something other to remove those nuts. Yep, a lug wrench or whatever. Flares. Yeah, having a means to have light at night, having some glow in the dark, um, those little glow in the dark. I've had them before. I've had them sent to me before. Something that will you can lay them on the ground, so somebody coming up on you will see them. Having a carry bag. Yeah, jumper cables. You need jumper cables. LED flares. Yeah, and they've been around for a while. So um, having a good first aid kit with a good pressure bandage, having some food and some water, drinking water, having maybe a case of bottled water in the back. A fire extinguisher is a good thing to have. Make sure you have your phone, spare radio, an emergency radio. Your get home bag. What would you have in your get home bag? Will you take medication? A buddy here. Having having some hygiene products, having a good pair of hiking shoes or boots, spare socks, a good coat, gloves, good headgear for the weather, having a poncho, rain poncho. Somebody said a sleeping bag. Having a carry bag, having medication in it, having food in it. Make sure you've got a map of the area. How are you going to defend yourself? The machete, chemical hand, foot warmers. Good idea. Good idea. 9 in the house, 11 likes. A roll of quarters in case of tolls, car wash, etc. Yeah, every payday, I go and I get like I'm carrying 21s. I got a couple of rolls of quarters. Vending machines. What do vending machines use? I drive a truck and it is packed heavy with gear. I drive snowy, icy roads in the winter. Good idea. Yeah, people can freeze to death in their cars. You need a means to keep your body temperature up. Um, you really, you really don't want to be out in really crappy weather. You do not want to be out in crappy weather. If you can avoid it. During summer, 5 gallons of water. You can put a couple of rolls of quarters in a sock and hit someone with it. That's true. Uncle Al lives in a socialist republic. He is behind enemy lines. That is true enough. Anything special, Melinda, that you put in your car? Anything you carry in your car besides your kids? Utah Mike lives in the high desert. I guess it gets cold where he's at. I will tell you this. If you want to figure out what to put in a carry bag, I would make a list of things that you absolutely use and things you absolutely need. You take medication. Well, I would have a few days' supply of my medication in my bag. Okay, well, I take my medication in the morning. I've got a pill caddy that I use. I take my medication in the morning. Mr. Whistle, hello, Mr. Whistle. Thank you for coming in. So, I have a pill caddy, 7 days. I fill it up once a week. But if I was going to be going someplace where I would be out of town, or if I was going someplace where I was traveling off the beaten path, I would have spare medication with me. So what happens if this is medication I need to stay alive? I wouldn't want to go for several days without taking it. So the idea being, have some with you. Uncle Al, I live in a green area, lots of wild edibles and water, medium elevation, foothills of the Smokies. I'd be curious, little Lone Pepper, did you ever try to use one of those flameless ration heaters I sent you? Oh, dear God. Utah Mike, you definitely have to have winter supplies. My dad was a truck driver and broke down while up north. He almost froze to death. Multiple lighters, camp stove, instant coffee, freeze dried food. You got it, bud. Good idea. Welcome back, Joseph. 8 in the house, 12 likes. We are slightly over 20 minutes into the live stream. So I believe it was Enrique who suggested we talk about what do you put in your vehicle for emergencies, preparedness stuff. And I started talking about, how to prep the vehicle from the standpoint of what you need to have in case something happens with the vehicle. Oh, you don't need to try it on my behalf, hon. I've got tons of them, and most of the time they really don't want to work. WD Glock and Roll. Welcome, WD Glock and Roll. Thank you for coming. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. 13 likes, 8 in the house. I'm a firm believer in carrying a pistol. Whether you're carrying a little 22, or whether you're carrying a 357 or a 9mm, I'm a firm believer in carrying some form of firearm for emergency purposes. I like revolvers, but I have automatics. I normally, if I'm carrying a revolver, I'll have a speed loader with it or two. Yeah, Uncle Al is predicting one more good hard freeze coming up in the next couple of weeks. A small baggie of hard candy and some electrolytes, Gatorade, Sackets. Well, little package. Yep. Snowpocalypse. Over a foot and still snowing. We actually had an inch of snow. First time in 8 years. Got down to 22. And we got about an inch of snow. That was winter. That was winter. At least for where I'm at. I'm in Victoria, Texas. We have 3 or 4 freezes a year spread out. Mostly got down to 30 degrees, 29. Next day, it's in 40-ish, 40s. Maybe back up to the 50s. Winter doesn't really. Waiting for the Honolulu Express to push it towards David. Okie doke. I was doing a science lesson today, and we were talking about high pressure and low pressure. High pressure systems and low pressure systems. You got weather pushing from the poles. You got weather pushing from the equator. And when they come together, you have interesting weather. You have interesting weather. And it's always pushing. It's always pushing around. It is what it is. I headed to the Montana next week for a family ski trip. It will test my toughness. Well, God bless you. The Polar Express will last a week. Idaho Garden Girl, thank you for coming. 14 likes, 9 in the house. Welcome to Jerusalem Street. Thank you for coming. Please leave a like to support the channel. It will be greatly appreciated. Did you bring my friend Yoda with you? Yoda, are you basically stalking around behind the trees? You here, son? You sent me over, yes. We both became friends. I became your friend. I do watch some of your stuff. Whenever I watch something, you'll see I leave a comment. I always leave a like and I always leave a comment. You are a cute couple. You're over in the Philippines. You have your ministry over in the Philippines. Thank you for your ministry. The Lord bless and keep you safe. 10 in the house, 14 likes. Right here at the midpoint of my hour. Uncle Al would say stick to script. Well, I tend to reminisce. Happens when you're getting old, Uncle Al. Uncle Al gets going and he starts talking about his cousin Dumas. Pronounce it a little bit differently, and you know what I'm talking about. There are quite a few of them. South Carolina is a monsoon. Okay. Mike Crusher Reviews making appearance. Hello, Mike. Welcome. Did you get that video uploaded? I felt real good about myself yesterday. I did a video. I did the mail call from Amazon video. I did a live stream and I did uploaded 3 shorts. I was feeling real good about myself yesterday. Real good about myself. It has been snowing and raining. I had some hay delivered. Yeah, I had to buy hay for the chickens. Put it in the coop in their hutches so they have something nice and soft to lay their eggs on. Somebody was telling me that eggs were $4.50 a dollar. I mean, $4.50 a dozen. $4.50 to some places they're like $6 a dozen. You know, it's like, well, good Lord. 50 cents a piece for eggs. Man. I can remember back in the good old days, not too long ago, when they were $1 a dozen. Well, we talked about carry bags, get home bags, what you need to do for your vehicle. You know, if you're someplace where you get really, really inclement freezing weather, you have to basically prep your you have to put good radiator fluid in. You got to flush the radiator out. You got to put in new good strong radiator fluid. You don't want your radiator to freeze on you. One of these hard freezes. Eggs are 40 cents each when the stores have them. Well, God bless you. Yeah, somebody was telling me that here locally they're $4.50 a dozen. I hadn't been checking. I go to the store and I buy stuff. I never look for eggs because that's not a problem. Um, and I will post some construction pictures of the new second um, chicken coop. We're laying in a new chicken coop where we can have multiple generations of chickens. The ones we just purchased are 4 months old, and they will start producing in 6 months. Most varieties of chickens will start producing in about 9 months. These Turkins, the Transylvania Turkins, will start producing at 6 months. $5 a dozen. God bless you. Your hens are not laying at the moment. A couple more weeks and they will start. Yeah, well, that's good. You need it. You let your hens pretty much free range. They just run around out in the open, don't they? We keep ours in a coop, and they've got running space. They've got space to get around. We don't pack them in too tight. Normally, we'll put about a dozen in a chicken coop, so we're not overly. I think Mike Crusher said something about he was going to buy 40 hens. When the weather's a little better, I guess, or this spring, he's going to buy 40 hens. Walmart $7 a dozen. Now, where is that at Jerusalem Street? What Walmart? What area or what Walmart are you talking about? You talking about a Walmart in the States? Or are you talking about a Walmart over where you're at? Where are these? What are we talking about? Where are they at? Walmart. I remember when you could get eggs for 25. Okay, Walmart. Huh. Huh. 10 in the house, 14 likes, 11 in the house, 15 likes, yeah, yep, layer pellets, especially during the winter, they're not much. SD Mountain Man, how are we doing, Scott? Thank you for coming. And thank you for your service. Uncle Al, thank you for your service. You know, I also give them scraps of bread. So, like, we buy bread, you buy a loaf of bread, you eat a little bit of it, and, you know, after a few days, it starts not really that good to eat. The chickens love them, you know. It'd be a real treat for them. Southeast Kentucky, is that where you're at right now? You're in Southeast Kentucky? Okie doke. Well, thank you for coming in and hanging out. I need to it's a nice place, nice area, nice state, Kentucky. Scott puts out really, SD Mountain Man puts out really good content when he puts out content. I like to see his fired ups. He gets frustrated. Well, I'm going to get this one on the first try. And he goes there, you know, and dab it didn't start. And he gets it about the third, you know, normally get about the third strike and it'll start up for him. And he's got some nice gear. I like Kentucky last spring. Yep. Several folks that I follow that I haven't really had time lately. They do those fire 'em up Fridays and cast iron Wednesdays, and take care, Utah Mike. God bless you. Stay warm. Be safe. I would have like a 1 gallon or a 2 gallon can in the trunk. I mean, think about how much does it take to get you to the next town? Towns are, you know, most, unless you're really out in the boonies someplace, 1 gallon of gas should get you from one town to the next where there should be gas stations if you were to run out. But having a 2 gallon tank, you know, or a 2 gallon storage, that would be good to have. You need a funnel. Make sure you have a funnel. I did a cast iron grilled cheese challenge last night, but no tripod, etc. Kind of messed it up. Yeah. That video I did, I started out with the biscuit and did a couple of minutes, and I shifted over. I kept getting interrupted. So it was like I said, okay, this is the third take. It was really the third take. One, you got the wife coming in, you know, I'm trying to do something, the wife comes in, and then I get a phone call, and I'm using my phone to do the recording, and I'm using my phone to look at the text, because I'm blind. Yes, Uncle Al lives in the boonies. Yeah, you got a real nice pup, SD. That's a keeper right there. $17 likes, 10 in the house. So the idea being what you anticipate needing and what you don't anticipate needing. You better have. You better have some a good change of clothes, something nice and warm. You work in an office, or you wear a suit, or you wear a nice dress, to work. Something other that looks good. You're inside. You maybe transit from the parking lot to your office and back. Um, but if you're out and about, or if you're driving out of town, or if you need to have warm clothes. You need to have good walking boots or good shoes, good something other thick socks. You want something that'll keep you warm. You need a good jacket, good gloves. Hands get cold too. Some good headgear. The ability to heat water. Having one of those little stoves I send out. Having that with you. That way you can boil water, heat water. I would not eat snake eggs. Yuck. Uncle Al eats ducks, quail, chicken, emos, turtles, and snake eggs. Welcome to Jerusalem Street. I'm gonna get out here, fed my dogs. Got to get up around 4:30. Got to go about 3-hour trips one way and back another 3 hours more out tomorrow evening. Well, God bless you. Traveling mercies. The Lord bless and keep you. And I'm usually up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. To anybody who's traveling, the Lord bless and keep you, give you traveling mercies, keep you safe. It's getting to where it's one of the reasons why I will not fly on a plane. That collision that they had, where you had the military helicopter and the jet collide, killed 64 people on the jet, 3 on the chopper. Chopper had no business being where it was at the altitude it was at. And they're saying that possibly air traffic controllers weren't they were, might not have been enough of them, or they were over, I don't know, too much. There's a big shortage of air traffic controllers. And also, okay. Oh dear God, Uncle Al, you got a mind. Careful, David. Okay. Okay. Uh, all sorts of animals, and an ostrich egg would be very big. You know, like quail. Somebody said something about quail. Uh, Verna and her quail. Verna's place. Um, a quail egg is about 1/3 the size of a chicken egg. They're supposed to be very good to eat, but you need about 3 to 1. You don't need as much room to house them. They produce quite regularly, and you know it's a viable option for you. Quail doesn't take a lot of room. Thank you. Goose eggs, okay. Uncle Al's always saying, "Watch out." Well, uh, they're 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 in the process right now of getting their act together, trying to hunt down the criminal aliens. There's a lot of them. Uh, Trying to apprehend them, detain them, work on deporting them. They say they're going to prepare Gitmo to house criminal aliens that they can't get back to their country of origins. And the Trump administration the president has determined that he's going to put a 25% tariff on items coming from Canada, a 25% tariff on items coming from Mexico, a 10% tariff on items coming from China, and talking about a trade war that they're going to retaliate. And then he said, well, if they retaliate, it'll be a 50% tariff. My daughter has flown several times. Here I have a 26-year-old kid. I'm 62. I've never been up in a plane. And she's traveled several times by plane. Get whatever you might need now. Yes. Now, I will tell you this about preparedness. Preparedness is a marathon, it's not a sprint. You're not going to become prepared overnight. Something you got to shop, you got to work at it. Got to work at it. Mexico folded. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. I look at news clips. Sometimes they're a day old. You know, I try to look at the most recent stuff. Panama surrendered. Well, I know that that the new Secretary of State went down to meet with them, and you know, there's a real big concern about the Chinese. Too many Chinese down there. Those ports on either opening being run by Chinese companies, that's a big red flag. I was frightened of flying, but I had to fly for business trips. So I just basically bit my lip and did it. I got to see a lot of the USA, which was fun. But once retired, no more biz trips and don't miss it. Uncle Al, I'm not a professional news outlet. This is just me talking about what I want to talk about that I think would interest the folks that listen to me. Not that many of them. I was looking at my statistics. You know, I had 49 people last night in my live stream. I'd have to check to see how many people have viewed my video that I just recently dropped. The last news that I did, and I've done 3 of them, probably 11 or 12 days ago. I've been saying I was going to do another one, you know, try to do one about one a week, 4 or 5 minutes of my take on whatever's going on, and it might not be up to date, you know. But if you're coming to me for the news, you're in a bad way. You know, if I'm your source for the news, you're in a bad way. This is just me talking about my take on what I think's happening or what's going to happen or, you know, the results of what's going to happen. I'm old school, you know. I'm newsprint old school. To me, high tech was my encyclopedia set, my Britannicas, the periodicals that I would purchase, the newspapers that I would purchase. That was, you know, that was my high tech current news. And you know, people that would have been alive a couple of 100 years ago would have been amazed at what we had 50 years ago, before we had any of the internet stuff. The fact that we had periodicals, bound periodicals, monthlies, that, you know, covered so much material, really the quality of it. The articles were very well written. The pictures supporting them, the maps, the newspapers, the quality, you know, of what you got in the newspapers. Uncle Al's working on 3 shorts. Okay. I will try to upload another short or 2. Seems like the stuff I've been dropping lately hasn't been producing the type of results that I want. So I will see about dropping something else. 17 likes, 9 in the house. This week our temps are in the 30s and the 40s. Next week, single digits. Winter is still here. Usually gets reliably warm in April. Last frost usually around Mother's Day. Yeah. I mean, I don't. They always talk about plant a garden. It's not racist. You know, so plant a garden is not racist. Noah garden's not racist. And some of the best stuff, paragliding, I don't think so. you buy seedlings or whatever, tomato plants or whatever you buy, and you pay a pretty good price for them, and then you grow what you're going to grow, whether you're container growing or whatever you're doing. You think about what you pay for your plants, and you think about what you get from them. Um, Better just to go and buy some good quality produce. Now it's important to be able to. It's now 3 minutes SD. For a minute, that's how one of my last went. Huh. Three minutes. Eight in the house, 17 likes. Please leave a like to support the channel, be greatly appreciated. Hello, mom of four boys. Welcome. How are you doing, Rachel? Everybody's saying hello. Nine in the house, 18 likes. So I will try to load one or two shorts this evening. I will plan on trying to do a news. I've got to figure out what I'm going to put in it so that I keep it to 3-4 minutes. Want to keep them under 5 minutes. I want to say stuff that's like people want to hear. And I will say the Texas Governor Abbott, the Texas National Guard is now working with Border Patrol, Department of Public Safety, Homeland Security, and that they are able to support and they are able to apprehend illegal crossers. The governor has signed some executive orders. Take care, Uncle Al. Keep the cooking coming. Did you see where they put teeter totters by the border? They're trying to strengthen sections of the border where we've already got wall. You've got people trying to cut. They were using torches trying to cut through metal, wall supports and such to try to get through. And then you got people trying to get these big old ladders to get them up, and then they put a rope around them and try to get them over at the top, and then they basically let them down easy with the rope on the other, for the other side. I mean, people are desperate. People are desperate. Huh. Well, Tell you what, I've been on for about an hour, and I try to keep them to about an hour. Otherwise, Uncle Al starts getting very hostile with his comments. I can't guarantee I'll be back tomorrow. If I'm not back tomorrow, I will make the community wall post. And it's hard for me to do stuff when I'm working because I get up real early. I don't get home until after 5. And like when I get off right now, I'm basically going to drink something and go to bed, tired. Everybody, treat people the way you want to be treated. Wake up in the morning and thank God for the day. You don't know how many days you have. Drink your coffee, take your medication, say the Lord's Prayer. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Lead by example. And everybody, I encourage you to please have a blessed day and join me for another edition of Coffee Talk. Thank you, and God bless. Bye-bye.